Hey, what's going on, friends? My podcast every day is broken up into two parts on the free platform. The first part, Act 1, is right now. When it's all done, go right on over to Act 2 to get the second half of the podcast. Thank you so much for checking out my show. Hello, friends. Welcome into the Eric Zane Show podcast, a daily show where I discuss news, nonsense, and my personal adventures from right here in the Impact Power Sports Studio. Impact Power Sports online at impactpowersportsmi.com. Great place to go for anything fun with an engine. ATV, UTV, e-bike, some call it a B-bike, motorcycle, lawnmower, golf cart, Yamaha golf carts. They have it all at Impact Power Sports, and a full service department if you ever need any attention, like if you crack it up or something like that. I don't know how you treat your stuff. Welcome. Thank you to Nick, who has now subscribed for 45 months. I appreciate you, as has Rich, 42 months. Nick writes, yeah, hey, I went for a rip on the nice day that we had with his Impact Power Sports side-by-side. He buys all of his stuff at Impact Power Sports, and I'm so very appreciative. Thank you, Nick. Welcome to each and every one of you. I was in correspondence with a person that I just recently started talking to, who's a big fan of the Ben and Eric Patreon. I should say, who are these free beers? Like this person who asked me not to say who they are. And there's a long story behind that. That's not important. But anyway, this guy loves who are these free beers, and I'm like, oh well, that's awesome. I'm glad to hear it. He really, I guess he was been like in the past few weeks, he's powered through like 60 episodes of who are these free beers. And so I was talking to him, and this is quite a comment. Because this guy was talking about, let's see. I don't want to reveal too much. All right, I got to be careful when I read this, or else I'll reveal who it is, and I don't want to do that. This guy writes about our friends Free Beer and Hot Wings. I've had a zillion laughs over the years. I just wish they weren't so quick to dismiss criticism, just because their ratings are still good. They take it way too personally, even when people write to them in a nice way. I honestly think there's still potential there if they just try instead of mailing it in. It seems like they think the only reason former fans feel the way they do is just because you and Joe aren't there and they aren't as crude anymore, and that's not even the case. They don't need to be particularly crude. They just need to be interesting. I used to be glued to that show, and now I skip multiple segments every day. And it's not because I haven't grown up or changed in the years since I started listening. That's just the shitty excuse that they use when people don't like them anymore. I absolutely have grown up and changed in 1,000 different ways, and they could have evolved without becoming boring as shit. Now, I'm not reading this because he's critical of my pals Free Beer and Hot Wings. I'm reading this because he's critical of me, and I'll get to that. I wrote back, I've said many times that it has never been easier to do a morning radio show than right now. The world is at our fingertips. I don't know why in the world they quit trying to do a good show. And then you mix in Greg's insecurities, which are so unlikable, and it turns people off. Then this person writes, it's definitely a bummer. Anyways, I can't wait until I'm caught up with Who Are These Free Beers so that I can start from the beginning on Who Are These Zanes and the Ben and Eric Patreon podcast. Let's see. Oh my God, there's so much material, it's unbelievable. Then I wrote this. Have you ever checked out my free podcast where I'm all by myself? That's where I tell more personal stories and give my thoughts on current events. He writes, I have. Several different times over the years since you got canned. And I feel comfortable saying this because I think you can take it LOL. I just can't get into it. There's only one solo podcast I've ever been able to listen to, and that's Bill Burr's. Now, look, I'm pausing right now because Bill Burr's shit. Oh, no. Then he adds, I think there's also a certain element to your show where you kind of had to be there from the start and stayed the whole time. I guess at times I just kind of feel lost if I've just picked the latest episode to start on and you'll mention things that have happened before and I'm just like, shit, I have no idea what's going on or what he's talking about. Now, it's at this point that old school Eric wants to say, fuck it, and scream at somebody and shake them. But no. I wrote, that's actually good food for thought, Mr. Anonymous. I need to do a better job of making sure that I don't alienate people by assuming they know what the hell is going on. Do me a favor and listen Monday, now, and see if you notice a difference. He writes, will do, and gives me a thumbs up. I don't know. That's how I do it, one at a time. Now, is this show dramatically different now, today, this moment in time, than previous times that he listened? Probably not. Probably not. But I don't know. Maybe now that I've added that extra wrinkle, that'll be enough to put me over the edge. Ben is here, says... that's Ben Weller. I've caught up on all the Patreon content, and I'm going through withdrawals. Oh, my God. That's quite a compliment. Cole says, tell him to start at episode 1 and get caught up. He can knock out 3 or 4 episodes a day and get caught up in no time. Well, I don't know about in no time. There's 1,700 free episodes. How long would that take? Okay, I think I know how to do this. 1,710 divided by 4. If he did that every day, it would take him 427 and a half days to catch up if I produced no more new episodes. It would probably take a lifetime. Birch says, I jumped ship from Free Bear and Hot Wings, and yes, there is a learning curve to references, but stop being a whiny little bitch and just listen. It's not hard. Look, I don't want to go out of my way to, hurt people's feelings, asshole. Nick says, so every podcaster is supposed to review their entire show every day in case there is a new listener. No, I don't think so. I don't think so. It's just decent food for thought, I guess. I don't mind that. I don't mind that somebody can look me in the face and say they love this, 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 and hate this, or can't get into this. That's not bad. That is not a bad spot to be in. I need coffee, okay, in my Pooh Bear mug. And so I'm just going to talk away from the mic. As you can see, I got 3 pooches again. I don't know why I said that. I mean, of course I do, unless something tragic happened over the weekend. So I went to Monster Truck Night on Friday night at Van Andel Arena. And they do an excellent show. They run a very tight ship. And it is still intensely boring. They even have moments where you can scan the QR code and you contribute to like the points. Just, based on what tricks these hillbillies do in their trucks, you can give them points. And it still sucks. It's so shitty that my grandkids, who are children, said, "This sucks. Let's go." We're like, "Fuck yes, thank you." Black Belt Nick says Sean, his son, loves Monster Jam. If you ever need tickets, you can have mine, because I am never going to this ever again as long as I live. I can't do it. It might be the ADHD. It might be the amount of time between bits of elements of action. Okay, so the first thing they do is each of the 8 trucks rips around the track. And whoever can do it the fastest gets the most points. Yeah, rips around the track. The track is half the size of a hockey rink. So it takes like 10 seconds, I'm not kidding you, to get around the track. Oh, okay, cool. So you watch this, and all 8 of them rip around the track, and the fastest time gets the most points. End of round 1. Round 2, they hit a bump, and they balance the truck on 2 wheels. And based on how well they do that, they get points. So each truck does that. Then it's halftime. What happens in halftime? Well, they set up this giant inflatable ramp. Each monster truck has a teammate that rides a motorcycle, a dirt bike, and they do tricks. So then, Gravedigger's team has, the dude, and he hits the ramp and he does a trick where he lets go of the motorcycle and then grabs onto it or does a fucking toe kick. I don't know. And then he lands on the inflatable ramp on the way down, and then he comes to a stop, and then they get points. All right. And then I don't know what happened, because my grandkids said, "Papa, we want to go home." I said, "Okay." I think the most exciting thing for them was where we parked, because I've got I can park in this particular garage for iHeartRadio. That's underneath this, I don't need to explain it, but to them, that was the most, what the hell? And then it was packed. Wall-to-wall people. They do a show Friday night. They do a show 2 shows Saturday and a show Sunday. So I'm starving, and Pooh Bear says, "Can you get the kids a drink?" So I go, "Yeah, sure, no problem." And I go, "I think I'm going to get myself something to eat." And I look, and a burger basket actually is $12.50 with fries. So you got a cheeseburger with fries is $12.50. Now, honestly, if you were to buy a burger and fries, you're going to pay anywhere from $8 to $10 at any fast food joint. So that's not bad. I'm like, whatever, concession. I always thought that you really got screwed here at the rink for concessions. And I go, okay, I'll have that burger basket and 2 of these drinks. And they're, like this. And it comes out to over $30. A what? $12.50 for the burger basket and $18 for the 2 Sprites. Oh, my God. Holy shit, do they have you by the balls. Badger writes, Balls Out with Ben Glaze and Brett Hayes is a bit better than this show. No offense, because I listen to both. Rich says the only thing interesting at Monster Truck is playing Spot the Black Guy in the crowd. There are a lot of black people there. Nick says, other than Disney on Ice, Sean will. Monster Truck's the only thing Sean will stop using his tablet for. Big Buddha says lots of people from outside the hard living line in attendance for a Monster Truck show. You could have probably shot a cannon through the Ionia Walmart while that was going on and not hit anybody. Nick adds, the full-size arena shows are better by far. Ben Weller says Balls Out with Ben Glaze and Brett Hayes is great. Man Bun Chris says, how was the PA work? If there's a need, this could lead to some amazing stories, I imagine. Oh, for Monster Truck, they bring all their own people. So a lot of love for Ben and Brett. And damn it, I think that they need some love. Badger adds that Ben and Brett need to do at least 2 shows a week. They are funny as shit. Nick says he always brings a pocket burger. Boy, you know, for the amount of money you save on your DIY stuff, you should be like infinitely wealthy. Tofa says they should have had me do the PA for Monster Trucks. No. He says you could have called some people mingers and shit. Anyway, yeah, it was a packed house. They made a ton of money. And it's not even staged. They actually do compete. It was a rough weekend for your old pal EZ. Yesterday, I think, kind of ruined it. If Saturday was decent, Sunday, this was the first time. This is my first bit of emotional blowback since Dad's passing. Where, and I talked about this last week with you about resilient grief. Resilient. There's a term. I was wondering how, since Dad died March 1, and up until yesterday, I didn't really have any moments where it seemed like I was grieving. You know, it was really strange to me to suddenly, I felt like I was doing something wrong with the quickness that I picked up the pieces and continued out living my life. I actually didn't feel good about it. I was like, what? How come I'm not? Well, that kind of changed yesterday. So I'm sitting there crying, going, yeah, it's about time. Yeah. Oh, fuck me. I don't know what brought it on, but I think it has something to do with not being as busy and the finality of it all just suddenly gone, I guess. I'm sure you all have dealt with this. I lost my mother, but for some reason it was different. With my dad. I'll just say it. I had a much better relationship with my dad than I did my mother. It's, not anything to be ashamed of. It's just the way it was. Tofa says you had a different emotional connection with your dad. I think I'm more like my father than I am my mother. And I don't know. I don't want to get into the details why it is the way it is, but it's true. It just wasn't great yesterday. Eventually, though, I pulled out of it. Pooh Bear helped me. Jacqueline and Justin comes over, and it's time to make some smash burgers, which I'm actually getting better at it. I don't know how. The mouse turds are back on the Blackstone. I had to clean the mouse turds, and then I went and bought mouse traps to put on the deck to actually slaughter the mice to keep them off of the cooktop on the Blackstone. Because I don't want to be, every time I go to utilize that cooktop, that outdoor cooktop, actually it's just awful. You've got mouse shit in the spot where you're cooking food. Man Bun Chris says, "Hey, guy, I'm in heaven now." Starman says, "Cotton ball soaked in mint extract will repel most rodents as well." Yeah, that is true, but I want them dead. I want it to be like Fear Bunker North, where I went ahead and actually slaughtered the mice population with the walk the plank bucket, thanks to Nick in the arena for that suggestion. So I think eventually I got to get that, but I'm at my house though, so I'm afraid that like the neighbor's cat is going to do the walk the plank and get in the bucket and drown. Nick says none of that hippie stuff works. You need a death bucket. He's not kidding, because the effectiveness, it's important to note that at Fear Bunker North, it's dense forest with critters everywhere. The first time I initiated the walk the plank over the bucket, and it's just weighted so that you put the bait at the end of it. The critter goes up the little ramp, up the bucket. It has that pink antifreeze shit in it, or whatever you put into it. Doesn't matter. It hits the bait at the end. It falls in the bucket. And then it's not only does it die, but it's, preserved. It doesn't like rot in there because of the poison that's in the fucking shit. So the first time I did it, it was like 20 in there. And then the next time, 15. And then 5. And now none. I can't remember the last time I had a mouse in that bucket. So we dubbed the area Mousewitz for the mousicide that has taken place there. Nick says, I just checked my buckets 2 weeks ago. Only had 2 all winter. I think I killed every mouse within a half mile last year. That's the same thing that happened to us. So I think that's important to do. Megan says put water in it instead of antifreeze so you don't kill the animals that we like. Man Bun Chris says it's like what Walter White did to the guy in the bathtub. Oh, that would be what was his name? Not Crazy Eights. I forget. I'll be thinking about it all day. All right. So, yeah, ended up getting through it and then back to work making amazing food. Crazy Eight. No, it was Crazy Eight didn't die wasn't dissolved in the bathtub. Was he? Or was he? I don't know. I forget. You're probably right. I think they were both dissolved in the bathtub, but only one fell through the ceiling. And that was not Crazy Eight. Nick says, easy, you're okay with the RV antifreeze. Animals are not attracted to it. All right. Emilio, fuck yes, that's the guy. Walter choked Crazy Eight in the basement. was a crazy scene. By the way, I saw Weapons over the weekend. I finally watched something. It's been a long-running gag that I never watch anything pop culture related, and that usually is true. But I did watch the movie Weapons, written and directed by Zach Kreger. Kind of like a new guy, but boy, this thing was a bomb. A bomb. I shouldn't say it was a bomb. It was huge. Bomb is bad. This was not bad. The amount of money it made. There were some Academy Awards handed out. Amy Madigan won an Academy Award for Best Supporting Actor for her role as Aunt Gladys in this film. David did not like the film. So you know that the witch in that movie is alcohol, right? I did a deep dive as to the meanings of all of this film, and it's basically centered around alcohol. And the filmmaker Kreger, his experience of growing up in a house with alcohol and also abusing it himself, maybe that'll change how it is for you. But the metaphor being that Aunt Gladys, the witch, is in fact alcohol. And God damn, I like this movie. I liked it a lot. I like all the actors that are in it. Julia Garner, who played Ruth in Ozark, she's one of the mains. Josh Brolin is in that. He's one of the main characters. And the kid, Alex, does a great job. Not to mention Amy Madigan as Aunt Gladys, which Christian Blatt told me on last week's Who Are These Broadcasters that his son and the kid who played Alex are like best friends. I'm like, what? Why? Huh? Christian rubs elbows with people, but doesn't ever tell me about it. He's kind of like a loser that Hollywood bigwigs like to hang out with. I think because he's so unassuming and normal. Man Bun Chris writes, I saw Project Hail Mary yesterday. So good. David said, I bet it is great. The book was awesome. I don't know anything about this. All I know is I saw an actor giving a thumbs up. I forgot his name. He's got blonde hair. And it said that this film was like gangbusters. I couldn't tell you anything about this. But obviously, it's standing out. I can't say for sure this is something I'll see. Gosling, that's the guy. Ryan Gosling, all you need to know. Yeah, he's a top-notch actor, Ryan Gosling. He's one of my favorites. I rented Weapons on Amazon. What is it called? Amazon Movies? Amazon Streaming? Amazon Prime? It was like $4. And then I saw there's another movie that I want to see with one of my favorite actors, Leonardo DiCaprio. He's in a movie that got a lot, Prime Video, that's it. He got a lot of Oscar consideration. It might have even, the film or some of the actors in it may have won some awards. And I forget what it's called. I think it's called I Had a Bad Day, or Today is a Good Day. Good day gone bad. The Today Show. It's got something to do with day. My day is my day. I am sad today. It's something to do with day and Leonardo DiCaprio, and he looks like he's a homeless fucker walking around and he's on drugs. That's all I know. If any of you could help me, the name of this movie. It's been out for quite some time. Came out sometime in 2025. Everybody talked about it. Oscar buzz. I Had a Bad Day. Leonardo DiCaprio. Day after day. Day tripper. Today was a good day. All right. One battle after another. Why did I think it was something to do with day? One battle after another. Yeah, for me, it's one battle after another. Trying to figure this shit out. Tyler says it won Best Picture, I believe. The basketball tournament, the first weekend is in the books. I once again am leading the tournament. Just like I did last year. Last year, after the first weekend, I was dominating. And then it fell apart. Now, this, even after Florida fucked it up last night, number 9 seeded Iowa beat Florida. I had Florida in my Final Four. Florida has a guy on their team, a white dude, who's 7'9". 7'9". There was a video going around of him standing next to a dude who's looking up at him. And the guy looking up at him was 6'8". Imagine yourself standing next to someone who's 6'8", how big they are. Well, in the image, a guy is looking up at this dude who's 7'9". You know, I don't think there's ever been a person in the history of basketball who has been very good when they're that big. Like, I think of the most effective big men of all time. You've got Shaq, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, Bill Walton, Robert Parrish, Tim Duncan. How about Wemby? Isn't Wemby 7'6"? He's ridiculous. He actually is very, very good. But typically, these guys get that tall and they suck. And this kid from Florida, he stinks. He can't do anything. Well, anyway, Florida they crashed out yesterday, and they're done. Yao Ming is another great example of a big man that was able to get it done. Nick writes, I walked past Yao Ming. Pretty sure I could have blown him without bending my knees. Oh, my God. How in the world were you in the presence of Yao Ming? By the way, Nick, I was thinking about you when I was at the Monster Truck Night. And I was thinking about you because one of the things that they were doing on the big board, on the video board, was advertising for the circus coming to town. And the way the circus is now is they no longer have animals. It's just a bunch of fucking, Cirque du Soleil shit going on. And I don't even know why I thought about this, but, well, I do know why. It's because I saw the ad, and I thought to myself about when you were working at the arena in the bowels of the venue at Van Andel Arena when they had, like, all the animals there. And I think you saw, like, animal abuse, and you reported it, and you got somebody in trouble because didn't somebody, like, slug the giraffe, like, right in the mouth? Which kind of broke my heart when I heard about that, when you described to me that some dirtbag he just punched the fucking giraffe, or was it an elephant? I don't remember what it was. I hope it wasn't a giraffe because it seems to me like the giraffe would take more punishment. It would hurt more than like the lion. What was it that you saw there in the chat? He writes, no, that was a low-rent other circus. He says it was the TJ Maxx Family Fun Circus. A guy, not a giraffe, a guy punched a camel. Fuck. I'm not laughing at punching the camel. I'm laughing how badly I fucked that up. Because Megan writes, you'd have to be tall to punch a giraffe. You're right. You'd have to, like, pull the rope down. Come here, you! Yeah, what the fuck? which, by the way, I can't wait until it warms up and I can go back to Boulder Ridge, the animal adventure park nearby here. This isn't a sponsor or anything like that. I wish they were. But, oh, my God. That is, like, so fun. Especially, you can run with the llamas. Now, there's a chance that they'll spit on you. But if you're sweet to them like I am, like I have food in both hands, and the llamas are eating the food. Nobody spits on me. I'm surrounded by llamas, and they're just fantastic creatures. I love them so much. They're related to the camel. You can't punch camels. What the fuck, man? I bet you were disgusted with that. Anyway, I've got the workplace staff meeting coming up in just a bit, so I'll be cutting this short and then be back after the staff meeting. Birch writes, well, that shitty giant college player has a career as a giraffe puncher because he can't play basketball. Rich says Boulder Ridge is a hidden gem. Oh, you aren't kidding. Licensed to print money. Part of it, anytime there's animals in captivity, it kind of breaks my heart, but they really have a lot of room to roam there. They really do. It's not like, they're in a fucking 10 by 10 cage. They've got huge areas where they can run around. Anyway, currently, I need to get to the standings of my basketball tournament. Of the ESPN Tournament Challenge. Okay, here we go. Read it and weep. Right now, I'm tied for first with Dr. Jim Barry, who's out of South Carolina, whoever this is, and myself. We all have 520 points, but I have potential to get the highest. They can only get, I take it back. Dr. Jim has a max of 1720. I have a max of only 1520. So I'm probably not going to win this shit. Kuipers is up there. Yeah, I'm going to fall on my ass. Michigan State and Michigan both advance on to the next round of games. So that's pretty cool. All right, I don't have anything to say about it. I mean, who cares at this point? I didn't watch 1 second of one game. No, I take it back. I watched the replay of Vanderbilt and Nebraska, which was a crazy finish to that one. Nebraska wins it. And, it's not like I'm going to sit down and watch any of these stupid games. Fuck that shit. I've got things to do. I got a day of crying and mourning. Before I wrap this up, Friday during the show, it was announced that Chuck Norris died. The great karate guy, Walker, Texas Ranger. Now, somebody reached out to me. I forgot who. I apologize. And someone said, EZ, are you familiar with the bit that Conan used to do, Conan O'Brien, where at random moments he would, quote unquote, pull the Walker Texas Ranger lever and then play a clip from Walker Texas Ranger? I'd never heard of this bit, but I took his advice and looked it up, and the first one that came back was a Reddit post. It says, this is the one Walker, Texas Ranger clip on Late Night that Late Night was afraid to show. And once you see it, you'll understand why. Now, in the clip, you got Chuck Norris standing next to a young Haley Joel Osment. And a couple other actors are in it, too. And nothing more needs to be said. You just need to watch it.
Now, ladies and gentlemen, as some of you may know, we here at Late Night often like to show clips from Walker, Texas Ranger.
My apologies on the volume level. It's a little low, but it's the best I can do right now. Turn up your volume.
Well, folks, there is one clip from Walker, Texas Ranger that we've been holding back on. In fact, this is true. We've been afraid to show it. But it's spring cleaning, and I want to test just how good a crowd this is. So here it is. The one Walker clip we've never shown. Once you see it, you'll understand why.
And how you doing, little partner?
Fine. And it's little visitor now. Attaboyoli's how you say it in Cherokee.
Oh, well, pardon my French, but I'll be damned.
Walker told me I had AIDS.
Conan's just pacing around.
I think we should go to commercial. No?
Okay, I don't... What context is that okay? My God. Oh. All right, I got to do that again. It was so out of left field. Shit.
And why?
And how you doing, little partner?
Fine. And it's little visitor now. Attaboyoli's how you say it in Cherokee.
Oh, well, pardon my French, but I'll be damned.
Walker told me I had AIDS.
Shit. Okay. And like Conan, I'm going to leave it right there. Tova says that's second to that Mr. Belvedere clip where the kid is getting molested by a neighbor or some shit. I just love bad TV. David says, how damn random was that? Oh, my God. All right. I will be back after the staff meeting. I'll talk to you then. All right, that is Act 1 of the podcast. Act 2 is available right after this one. Go check it out. What are you doing? Don't miss a second of it. Thank you so much.